So today we're going to talk about your NET journey and where NCAN fits in and supports you. So NCAN's mission is to grow awareness for patients, medical professionals, general public, and to help patients and family navigate their journey. When I was diagnosed 23 years ago, there was only one foundation, and that was the Carcinoma Cancer Foundation. And in 2001, when I was diagnosed, they only answered the phone Tuesday to Thursday from 10 to 4. And of course, I got diagnosed at like 4:30 on a Thursday, so I had to wait until Tuesday to speak to the doctor, to speak to somebody. So that's kind of how NCAN was formed, because we wanted to make sure that the patients got what they needed, meaning that we have a hotline that I answer 365 days a year from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time. Remember, Eastern time, because we get a lot of people who call and they're like at midnight and they're like, oh, it's 9 o'clock, and I'm like, no, it's midnight, but I'll talk to you anyway. So we have the patient hotline. It's a toll-free number that came about. It's actually our personal house number. Monica Warner, who ran the Carcinoma Cancer Foundation with Dr. Warner, put out my telephone number on AIM. Okay, there was no Facebook then, there was no Instagram or X. It was AIM, and so my telephone number went out because a patient was having a hard time, and Monica said, "Oh, call Maryann Wahmann; she'll help you." And what happened was the phone started ringing off the hook nonstop. That my family couldn't reach me anymore because the phone was always tied up. So we had to get a second number, and that phone number, even though we're no longer in New York and moved to South Carolina, still rings in Belmore at my mother-in-law's home. Our website is netcancerawareness.org. So we do conferences like this, but we also send out free information packets. So if you're newly diagnosed, you can go onto our website and order an information packet. In those information packets are information about all the people that are here, like all the sponsors, and it also gives you information about financial help, Patient Advocacy Foundation, Healthwell Foundation, and all that other stuff. It talks about all the different tests. It talks about all the different medication. It talks about a whole bunch of stuff. So it's really important that you send away for the information packets. We have support groups across the country. We currently have between 25 and 30. Some of the support groups during COVID kind of broke down because they couldn't meet in person anymore. So we're trying to get them back up and running. We have awareness events. Back in 2000, I'm not really sure, I think it was 2012, 11 or 12, my daughter Trisha, who's outside, came home and said, they have all these events for colon cancer, breast cancer, why aren't we doing things? And I said, Trisha, we're busy doing the awareness project, we're doing the conferences, I can't add another thing to it. And she said, I really want to do a walk. So Trisha took it upon herself to find a park, to make all the arrangements, get the insurance and everything else, and the first walk was formed. So we do a lot of awareness events. We do walks, we do galas, and all that. And what we do mostly is to help you advocate for your best care. And why is that? Because NET cancers really need the help. NET cancer patients really need the help on navigating the journey. This is a picture from on the left-hand corner. On your left-hand corner is Dr. Richard Warner, the founder of the the founder of the Carcinoma Cancer Foundation. Below him is Dr. Jean Waltering. On the right-hand side is Dr. Thomas Odorizio and Dr. Bill Go. And in the middle is Dr. Charlie Nutting and Dr. Lowell Anthony. And we started out really small by just having Dr. Odorizio come to speak at a conference. And it kind of just grew from there. We said, all right, we're going to have this doctor come to a sport group on Long Island and share how we should better advocate for ourselves and how to do treatments. And Robert and I went to a local Marriott, and signed a contract for an event. And when we got into the car, I looked at Robin and I said, how are we going to pay for this? And he said, I don't know. And I said, well, maybe we'll do a gala. Back then it was a dinner dance. We raised $10,000 from our friends and family that night, and the bill came out to $9,500. So we had $500 left over, and that's how NCAN at the time, the Carcinoid Cancer Awareness Network, we're now NCAN, was formed out of that $500. So we give you practical advice. I'm here to listen and to kind of guide you with maybe where to get treatments, different doctors, how to talk to your family about it. We do team meetings or Zoom meetings with families, so this way you can discuss your different your diagnosis and how to tell your family. So that's really helpful. But what you can do is go to these meetings, go onto social media, join a support group, find out about, reach out to a NET specialist. This is one thing that I tell everybody that calls me. You don't need a NET specialist the first thing when you get diagnosed, but somewhere along your journey, you need to get to a NET specialist. You need to go to a doctor that treats only NETs because they are up to date on all the information. Your local oncologist may see one patient or two patients in a lifetime, and so doctors don't have the luxury and the time to really sit down and know about every single disease in the world. So it's really important that you get in touch with a NET specialist and go and have at least one consultation. Most of the NET specialists are really great about working with local doctors, so you don't have to go traveling every time, but at least you have somebody that's helping follow your care. And that's really, really, really important. And also, if you're not getting what you need from your local oncologist or any doctor, you need to fire them, okay? I had 7 colonoscopies, 7 endoscopes, 7 different doctors before I got diagnosed. A lot of people, especially older people, they think that the doctors are God and that they know everything, and they don't. You do not work for the doctor works for you. If you are not getting what you need, you're not getting the right treatment, they're not paying enough attention or whatever, you have a right to fire them, okay? This is your care. You need to fight for your care. If you, a lot of people, how many people give gifts to their doctors at Christmas time or Hanukkah time? A lot of people give gifts. Instead of giving a gift, instead of sending candy or cookies, why not have them join NANET so they get the most updated information about clinical trials, about treatments, and all that stuff? So there's a link there. I think it's like $150 for the doctors or $200. It's well worth getting your doctor involved. Even if it's a local doctor, then this way they can get the information and look up some of the treatments. There we go. So I want to tell you that we have a very busy schedule. I want you to go to the website. On our website, netcancerawareness.org, we have resource room. On the resource room, you can check into our YouTube channel. There is over 300 or more videos of the doctors speaking, so you can learn more about that. We have podcasts that we do. The doctors speak. Patients tell their side of the story. If there's anybody here that's willing to share their story, please reach out to Michael in the back, and he'll be happy to schedule you for that. We do an online support group meeting that we do. We used to do it monthly. We now are going to be doing quarterly. So even if you don't have a local support group, you can join that, and that's a really good idea. We also have in-person events. We're here. We're going to be in Miami. We're going to be in Iowa this year. We're going to be in Louisiana. We're going to be in Tennessee. And then we have a virtual walk where it's everywhere. So what you do is you sign up, you get a T-shirt, and then you can walk anywhere and take pictures and raise money that way. We have a walk in Charlotte and a walk on Long Island. In each one of your bags, there is a NET cancer pin for NET Cancer Awareness Day. I encourage you to wear that pin. Put it on your bags, like your pocketbook bags or whatever. Wear it, because sometimes you're standing in line and they look and they see the zebra thing. You never know who's going to see that. And they start a conversation with you. You never know if that person standing next to you is a NET patient or not, or if you just saved somebody's life because they didn't know about NETs and a couple of weeks later they're sick, or a family loved one who's had symptoms over and over and over again, and they didn't know what it was, they're apt to maybe go and have some tests to see if it is. So that's how you can advocate for others and for yourself. Like I said, it's really important that you share your story. You know, family and friends need to know. Some of us are very embarrassed about talking about diarrhea. It's not a happy thing. I don't really like talking about it, but I do. Because by sharing my story, I am hoping that I will share my story to somebody that may need to know this information. This is not what I expected to do with my life. I was very happy being a homemaker, and I didn't have to work. I didn't have to do anything. I now travel all over the country trying to speak to people and get the awareness out there. Neck Cancer Awareness Day is on November 10th. Robert and I are the co-founders along with Novartis. They came to us and said we did Neck Cancer Awareness Month in New York, and they said, hey, if we get an international group together, will you help us form this organization and help form this day? And so in 2009, we got together at our national conference, and we started Neck Cancer Day. We have stepped back from the international group because we have enough on our plate, but Neck Cancer Day has now been in existence for over 10 years. So, this is very exciting stuff, and this is how we make it grow. How many people here know the story of the zebra? Many people believe the story of the zebra is that in medical school they are taught, when hearing hoofbeat, think of horses, not zebras. But in fact, zebras are rare. But in fact, the real reason why Robert and I, we were the first organization to use the zebra as the logo, was because of the fact that zebras' fingerprints are their stripes. We have fingerprints and none of us have the same fingerprints. No two zebras have the same stripes. So even though each one of us here may have net ourselves or have a loved one, we may have it in the same area, but we all may have different symptoms, may respond differently to medication, and also when they're doing the testing, one will have one test this way and another one will have another test this way. So that's why we use the zebra, because we're all individuals. Even though we have the same disease, we are all individual. But together, we can make a difference. Together, we can change it. Together, we can change the fact that over 90% of us are treated for the wrong disease. Over 90% of us are treated for 5 to 7 years before being diagnosed. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. It's been 20 years that NCAN has been working on this. We've made great strides, but we need your help. We not only need help financially, which I'm not asking for money, I'm talking about we need you to go out there and spread the word. Tell everybody about neck cancer. Tell them. If Steve Jobs, Aretha Franklin, or somebody like that had stepped up and said that they had this disease, we might be closer to getting better treatments. When I was diagnosed in 2001, there was one treatment or one test. One treatment, octreotide. And it wasn't to shrink tumors. Do you know what it was for? To control diarrhea. To control diarrhea. There was no drugs. The only test that was available was, by curiam, the octreotide scan. And I don't know how many of you have been around that long. Octreotide scan was a 3-day scan. You went, you got a shot in the morning, in the afternoon you got scanned, the next day you went and got scanned, the next day you went scanned, and if you weren't cleaned out enough, you went back a 4th and 5th day. So now we have so many new tests, so many new drugs, but we need help. We need to get the patients involved. We need the family to get involved. We need the pharmaceutical to get involved because we need to get better treatment for us. We need to get earlier diagnosis. There is no reason why somebody should be suffering for 5 to 7 years and not have a diagnosis. I was told I was crazy. I was told I had irritable bowels. I was told I had ulcerative colitis. And the whole time that tumor was growing in my ileum. And when I got diagnosed, I was at grade 2, stage 4. That is unacceptable. 90% of you people who are in here have had their diagnosis at stage 4. Let's catch it earlier. So spread the word. You never know who you're going to save. And we want you to be advocates. We want you to stand strong, share it, be active, join a support group, join the groups online. We have 48 Facebook pages alone. NCAN runs 48 Facebook pages. Join them, okay?